They are those who live in the shadows, who feed upon Doritos and Mountain Dew. They take comfort in their dark habitats as they watch reruns of sci-fi shows long past. They are the Basement Dwellers.
Show me what you got.
So say we all. So say we all. So say we all.
Indeed. Yes. This is a fertile land and we will thrive. We will rule over all this land and we will call it this land.
Make it so.
Join me. Together, we can rule the galaxy far from sun. I want to believe.
We better get back, because it'll be dark soon, and they mostly come at night. Mostly.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Basement Dwellers, a bi-weekly podcast dedicated to all activities most enjoyed by those who spend their time in the deepest, darkest, and dankest of basements everywhere. I'm your host, Wes Tanner, and this evening we're getting down and nerdy once again as we tackle some nerdy news, play a game we like to call Versus, and then spend the rest of the show talking about the shit ton of comic book adaptations that have blessed and cursed us with their presence on screen and on our consoles. I'm joined by my fellow basement dwellers, Nick, Drew, and Chris. How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's good. It's good.
You guys excited for Thanksgiving next week?
Oh, heck yeah.
Indeed.
That's your ass.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I can't wait for like mashed potatoes and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get food drunk.
Food drunk? I'm gonna get like real drunk along with food drunk.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
man.
too.
You maniac.
I'm gonna get wasted on gravy.
Yeah.
Gravy wasted.
Oh God. All right. What do you
That's
guys?
the gravy bowl. I need a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, just 2 shots of gravy.
You mean a gravy bong? You want to make
Yeah.
a gravy bong?
Intravenous gravy.
Yeah,
Gravy
Uh,
IVs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gravy IVs. Yep.
do gravy stands.
Oh, man.
Hold my legs.
Do any of you guys do like the turducken or anything like that?
We're
I have
doing one
never
at-
had it. No.
I haven't.
Really
had
want
either.
to.
Yeah, I kind of want to try it. There was something else someone did that was like a fucking abomination. I don't remember what it
Oh,
was.
are you talking
Is it
about
like an octopus?
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
The turd, what the fucking?
Yeah, there we go.
A turkey with like an octopus coming out of it with like crab legs or something?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
it looks really
disgusting.
it looks disturbing. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Now it's time to see what's up in the world of nerdy news.
Alrighty, so there's a lot going on apparently in the world of nerdy news. Lots of Star Wars news, really. So we're going to go ahead and cover some of that first. Up first, probably the most exciting news tonight, Rian Johnson. Is it Ryan or Rian? I don't know. It's R-I-A-N. I think it's Ryan. Rian Johnson, the director of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, has announced that he will be spearheading a brand new Star Wars movie trilogy. The new trilogy will be, and I quote, separate from the episodic Skywalker saga. Johnson plans on introducing Star Wars fans to a whole host of new characters and stories for both the old and new generations of fans to fall in love with. That's awesome news. I mean, I guess
That is cool.
Knights of the Old Republic. That's where I'm going.
I hope he draws off of some of like the expanded universe or the
Yeah.
you know, I would love to see some stuff. You know, I don't know, but the fact that he's going away from the Skywalker saga makes me think that they're not going to do anything with like Han and Leia's kids or anything like that. Like I'd want to see, but
like Legacy.
Yeah, nothing like that.
Well, considering that they basically rewrote a lot of that with the newest trilogy here, you know, with Kylo Ren, Ben Solo being the only child they have.
Oh,
yeah.
You know, I didn't even put that together. That sucks.
Yeah, but they leave it open for a lot of other things because there's, you know,
That's true.
20 plus years of legacy books. I mean, they could do, God, they could do so much. They could do something with super far in the future. You know,
I'd like to see. Yeah, I'd love to see Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh yeah, take it way back.
You know what? That would be an easy way for them to create some stories or to draw off stories as if it's way before even the prequels happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be great. You know, just do classic Jedi versus Sith type deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This news coincides with Disney's announcement of a live-action Star Wars TV series that is set to debut in 2019 on Disney's upcoming streaming service. Yay, even more Star Wars, and yay, another monthly fee, apparently.
You know, as someone who does not mind, like, I like paying for the ability to stream something, right? Like, I don't mind that, but I don't like the fact that everyone is trying to jump on the success of what Hulu and what Netflix has done. I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with it other than, like, I don't want to pay for certain content when you could just make a deal to put it somewhere else.
What sucks about it is Disney's pulling all of their stuff off of Netflix.
It ties right into the next piece of news. Disney has announced their plans to offer a streaming service to compete against Netflix, which you guys just said. And with that, they plan on bringing all of their Marvel and Star Wars shows with them. Meaning we could potentially see Netflix series like Daredevil make the move as well, even though they made that specifically for Netflix, and it's technically a Netflix original. It was still made by Disney.
Marvel property. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a Disney license.
And I didn't really make a note of this, but from remembering, they're also going to be doing some more Marvel TV series shows as well too. So I just don't know which ones. From what I read about the Disney streaming service is that they're competing with Netflix, and right now I believe the standard Netflix plan is what, $8.99, $9.99.
No, it's
something
like $10.99 or something like that.
Well, I know
it just went up to 10. Yeah, it's like $10.99.
Okay, because I think I pay a little more than that to be able to have it on like 4 screens at once instead of just like, I think standard is like 2. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 2.
I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at that stuff. I don't know what I'm paying for each month. I don't know. So,
yeah. Well, it's like, you know, Netflix is $10.99 a month base, and if you go with Hulu as well, you know, that's $12.99 a month for the unlimited thing, you know, with no commercials.
I was gonna say, isn't that the whole deal with them, is that the more you pay, the less commercials you have to listen to?
Yeah, they have a couple different tiers, you know, but it's almost worth it because you'll be, let's say you're watching an hour show.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna get 4 commercials, and some of them are like back to back.
Yeah.
You know, occasionally they give you the option to say, hey, do you want to watch all the commercials up front and then just go through the rest of the show normally? And I always pick that option.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't have Hulu. The only experience I have with Hulu was before like the streaming platforms like the Roku and everything came out. So I was always like actually on the browser. And back then you had like commercials, but they were like 3 to 5 minutes long a piece. And you just kind of dealt with it, you know? I mean, it was free. It was free at that time.
We still use Hulu, so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice because Hulu's got like the TV portion of entertainment that I would want to watch. And you know, it's gotten to the point with Netflix, not to go on a random tangent here, but like,
no, that's what we're all about,
like,
man.
Yeah, right. With the point of with Netflix, it's like there's so much on there. I actually get overwhelmed and don't watch 99% of the things I have on my list.
It's like girls who have like a shit ton of clothes. It's like they always have nothing to wear.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Oh, moving on to some gaming news. Oh, one thing before that, I wanted to say that because they're competing with Netflix, I didn't get a chance to say this, but their price point is supposed to be a lot lower. I don't know how low. Really? They didn't mention it, but yeah, if we're talking $10 to $12 for Netflix, because Disney's anticipating a lot of people being interested in getting their service, but they're not, I guess, relying on it, so they want to make it attractive to be able to, get people to buy more than one service. So, you got a Netflix subscription, Hulu subscription, then the Disney one on top of it. My guess is that they're going to be somewhere between like $5.99 and $7. That'd be my guess.
Oh, then I'd jump to that in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, I would, especially to get like, Star Wars shows and Marvel shows.
Oh yeah.
I mean that's
all of that on demand. It's kind of the same thing with like Crunchyroll. I don't know if you're familiar.
Is that the anime?
With that. That's the it's the anime one, but they also have live action like dramas and shows from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they simulcast a lot of anime shows, that are coming out. They'll come out on a Saturday, Sunday night, Sunday morning. They're already officially dubbed and on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And that
Crunchyroll's awesome.
They have a free option. Again, it's a lot of commercials. I would say they're closer to Hulu than Netflix.
Yeah, that's
actually.
accurate.
I think they're actually owned by Hulu.
Are they?
I think. I don't know. I mean, I'll look that up while we're talking, but
I don't disagree that like the similarities to each other. Yeah, I see it.
All right, so moving on to some gaming news. EA has faced some serious backlash over their decision to make playable heroes such as Darth Vader unlockable via microtransactions with the upcoming release of Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's this Friday. The show's released Saturday, so hopefully you guys will pick that up and start playing and let me know how it is. I did the beta and it was awesome, but beyond that. Estimates put unlocking characters such as Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker requiring approximately 40 hours of gameplay in multiplayer alone in order to be able to save up enough of the credits, which is their, system for unlocking stuff in that game.
Yep.
Which some say is designed to nudge players towards spending real world money instead to bypass that time consuming requirement. There was a whole post about it on Reddit, and I believe it is the 9th most disliked comment or thread in the history of Reddit. So
I just watched a YouTuber talk about that, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, I could understand wanting to try to push a certain business model, right? Because that's how they make a lot of money after the game has come out.
Yeah.
But that's insane to expect people to grind for 40 hours to get a character and then grind another 40 hours to get the specific upgrades and weapons for said character.
Well, there's two sides to it. One is the people are upset that you have to spend that much time to unlock a character, which a lot of people feel should just be part of the game, because it was in the first one. You didn't have to do any of that shit to get them in the first Battlefront. Well, the first new one, I should say. But then the other side is the people that are upset, not that you have to spend 40 hours to unlock it, but that you can bypass all of that just by paying, like it's kind of like a pay to win model, so
yeah,
I can see it. The thing is that the gaming business model, ever since the launch of the DLC business model portion of it, like that, it basically has, in my opinion anyway, has enabled a lot of game developers to release a half-assed initial copy of their game, knowing that, we got a few more months or another year before we have to release the rest of it. And guess what?
Yeah.
People will pay us for it again. You know,
That's what sucks. You pay $60 for a new game and you don't get the whole game.
well, you know, and on top of that, you got with this game and a lot of them, you know, they started selling the season passes, which give you access to all the future expansions, and you know, sometimes they'll give you rewards like you know, a desktop theme or a unlockable weapon or something like that. But you know, that basically puts the purchase price for one game like near $90, I believe. I don't know. It's $59.99. And, yeah, pretty much like $100 rounding up. And with this case, you got people spending that amount of money, and they still don't get the entire game. You know, they still don't get, you know, they don't get all the heroes or anything like that. And you know, I don't know, the perks for buying a season pass. The only season pass that I've bought for games was with what was it? Battlefield 4, and that was years after the game had come out and they had reduced the price. It was like on sale for like $14, and I was like, okay, I'll do it. So
and I had done that for Fallout 4 when they first announced the season pass for it. Just because I knew I was going to want to play all the DLCs, and I got in when it was still like $25 when they first announced it. They had upped it after that.
Oh, I know. Wasn't it like 40 for a little while? Like 39? Yeah,
it was like $40. I don't know what it is now, but
fucking nuts.
I think the biggest thing that bugs me about, and it seems to be, and I hate to bash on EA, but it seems to primarily be EA and Activision, is they are trying to push a business model that kind of preys on people that don't have the ability to say no, right?
What do you mean?
They like with the whole pay to win thing.
Oh yeah.
You know, they are really pushing the gosh, look how much time this takes. Look how much effort this takes when you could give us $3.99.
Oh yeah.
And get this gun that's way better than everyone else has.
Yep. Well, it's just it's progression skipping, and it kind of it takes away from the enjoyment of the game. I mean, you know, the way that games are right now, spending $90 on a game, and for the rate that games come out nowadays of titles that are really good that people want to play, like I've spent way too much money on video games just because, you know, like, and I haven't even like finished half of them just because, you know, the next one comes out and I'm like, oh damn it, I gotta fucking get that one now too. You know, and I don't know, sorry, that's a little bit of a rant, but the whole thing with
Borderlands 2.
Oh fuck yeah, I have that. I
spent so much money on that game. It's not even funny.
I love Borderlands.
Yeah,
that whole
great.
series is
I mean,
great.
I love that game too. I don't know. I think that we spent some money on the DLCs.
Oh, I spent so much money on the DLCs. It's
You know what? I don't think we did. I think I waited until the like collector's edition came out, and that's what I tend to do. Like, well, the game of the year edition that has everything with it.
Yep, you know? Exactly.
The one other thing with EA, not to keep bashing on them. I don't know if you guys talked about it already. Bash them. That they were trying to file a patent about a certain way that they were going to do matchmaking for certain things. So I forget what game it was for. It might have even been Battlefield 2, or Battlefield. Thank you.
Yep.
Brain.
Just thank yourself.
I did.
Thanks, brain.
So what it was. You was smart. What it was is that the game would matchmake you, like for multiplayer, against someone. Like if you didn't have a certain weapon or a certain item, it would match you against someone in the game that had that item. So you could see how much better the game is with that item.
Huh.
which would then make you feel like, oh, you know what? I do need to get that because then I'll stop losing.
Oh.
And it basically was like a back and forth.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah. So like I said, I heard about that a couple weeks ago.
So the gist of it, the gist of it is fuck EA. So
yeah, 100%.
Next piece of news from Polygon, Bluehole, the original developers of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, have announced their next title, an MMO called Ascent: Infinite Realm. You take a hefty dose of steampunk, mix in some classic sword and sorcery gameplay, and season to taste with a handful of mecha, and you'll have only scratched the surface of the upcoming MMO. It looks and sounds fantastic.
I don't think I had heard this, and I just looked up some photos, and man, this looks pretty cool.
I'll look up the trailer and watch it during our first break.
Yeah,
you had steampunk, so
yeah. There's not a whole lot of games out there that can really capture the feel of like a steampunk setting. So, I think the only one that comes to mind for me is BioShock, maybe. Infinite?
Oh, BioShock for sure.
Yeah.
BioShock is fantastic.
And the other one is the Dishonored series. That's pretty steampunk too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark. Yeah. Dark Void is another one. That was a kind of a good-ish game.
Okay.
You were basically like the Rocketeer in an alternate realm where
the Rocketeer.
Where Nikola Tesla gets like abducted.
Oh, I remember you talking about that.
Oh man.
Yeah, and you have to go save him, but you go to this other like alternate universe where there's like creatures. I don't know. It was a very weird game that the gameplay was fantastic. Like there was a lot of flying around and stuff. But there was not a lot of story to it. But no, this game looks sweet. Ascent: Infinite Realm. Yeah. I'm gonna look up the trailer and.
Yep, we're almost there. Last but not least, in the realm of TV show news, really short headline here: HBO's Westworld is set to return in the spring of 2018. That's about all I got on that one because there's not a whole lot of details surrounding it. It was just. Yeah, but
I was going to say I have not watched Westworld.
Get out!
I am the one who is like never seen any show ever, but have seen all the shows.
Okay,
it's just not the ones that the populace watches.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
I know, Chris,
like Game of Thrones or
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
I can't believe that. I haven't seen either of those either.
Oh, awesome! We're lame together.
What is wrong with you guys? What? Okay, Chris, did you watch Stranger Things though?
So
nope.
What?
I have not. No.
Okay, well,
I'm terrible. I told you that's why. Like, it's hard for me to get on some podcasts from time to time because it's like,
right. Well,
show?
Stranger Things.
He hasn't seen it yet. Any of it?
What? Like any of it?
No.
What the fuck?
Come on, buddy.
I know I'm terrible. I
can forgive those other two, but
you know what? I will get on it. There's a lot of shows I need to get on Netflix. It goes back to that whole thing. Like,
Chris,
it's in my queue.
Here's the
doesn't
sand.
mean I'm gonna watch it.
Here's the sand. Here's the sand. I'm drawing the line in it.
Here's the ball. I'm dropping the ball.
You're dropping the ball. I can forgive Game of Thrones. I can definitely forgive Walking Dead because that show is going downhill. But Stranger Things, come on.
All right, guys. And with that, we are going to take our first commercial break. And when we return, we are going to introduce a new segment we like to call Versus.
Hey, you nerd. Have you subscribed to the show yet? Now you can find the Basement Dwellers podcast on the following platforms: iTunes, Google Play, Podbean, and SoundCloud. Also, make sure to like our Facebook page where you can stay up to date on all the things. And now, back to the show.
And we're back, and in this segment, we're going to play a little game we like to call Versus, where we match up any two fictional characters and argue about who would win in a fight. So I've made a list of fictional characters, and we're going to consult with Norman, our Discord dice rolling bitch, to decide the matchup. So I need someone to give me a...
Norman's a bitch.
Yeah, I need someone to give me a D8 roll.
D8?
Yep, D8, and let me know what you got.
6.
What was that, Mr. Robot? 6? Okay.
D8.
All right. Let's, and then I need one more.
4.
6 and 4. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is going to be really fucking weird. Okay, so we have in our first matchup of versus, we have Frodo Baggins.
Okay.
Get this. Versus MacGyver.
Oh. Frodo.
All right. So,
man, that's tough.
Yeah, we really have no format on how to approach this, but Chris, you're good at this kind of stuff, so I'm gonna let you set up what you think. Let's hear it.
So do you want me to set up the scene, because this is what I imagine?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's visualize it.
All right. So you've got MacGyver.
Yeah.
Locked in a room. Frodo Baggins, invisible, inside the room with him.
Oh my god.
Because he's got the ring. And MacGyver, being the smart, handsome tactician that he is.
Somebody's got the hots for MacGyver.
Dude, MacGyver's the man, you get out of here. He's got, lying around the room, a paperclip.
It's always a paper clip. Paperclip and rubber band
of a '67 Chevy. In 30 minutes.
In 30 minutes. Okay.
Right. So there's a scene. Frodo, invisible.
Scared shitless?
I don't know. Probably like, what realm is this? This isn't Mordor.
Who is this mullet-clad person in front of me?
Who is this human?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So who wants to weigh in here? What do we got? We basically have... we got a magic ring, and he's got Sting, of course.
So he does have Sting. That was the next question I had.
Oh yeah. No. And here's the deal. We haven't really set ground rules for this, so just imagine that all of them have access to the things that you would think they would have access to.
Does Frodo have access to the members of the Fellowship?
Not,
Don't put Boromir in there. He's going to get stabbed.
not in this room. Not in this room. It's just them.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, just them. All right.
Don't put Sean Bean in any of these.
I know.
So
I say Sean Bean and MacGyver. Just MacGyver wins by default because Sean Bean keels over in a corner.
Just looks at him funny.
Sean Bean's in the movie? Oh, he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead.
I'm gonna say MacGyver.
MacGyver? Why?
Why? Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, he's got access to all those things in the room.
Uh-huh.
He could make himself a pair of MacGyver glasses to see Frodo. And then he could use the remaining parts to fashion like a weapon to take him on.
It's probably some type of gun.
And he's bigger than Frodo, so...
But
Frodo can hide.
From what? Like,
he's invisible. He is invisible, but that only lasts until MacGyver starts throwing oil and parts around the room.
Well, but like I said, he's gonna make his MacGyver glasses so he can see Frodo.
Sure.
And then he's got his weapon, whatever he's making it out of, the '67 Chevy parts.
Okay.
What kind of weapon would he make? Because he doesn't like guns.
Yeah, he doesn't like guns.
I want to say a club.
So he just
just pick something up.
Fucking,
that's not very MacGyver-y.
Fender off.
He's probably making some kind of like crossbow, using like a radiator belt, and exhaust pipe.
He's using most of the pieces to fashion these super fancy glasses there, so he can see Frodo.
We'll see. Okay.
This '67 Chevy powered glasses.
Yeah, that's right. So what
ignition.
This is as ridiculous as I hoped it would be.
That's who my money's on. I'm saying MacGyver.
Okay, well here's the deal though.
I was gonna be super confused being in a room with a mulleted man.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
he's gonna
and also he has nowhere to hide.
What manner of beast is this? It's a car.
Like, sure, he can turn invisible, but are there obstacles for him to hide behind?
We can say yes.
Oh,
like there's just like, nothing really of use, like maybe like a box or like a crate or something that is locked shut.
See, I was picturing like an interrogation
just like a big open room.
But for some reason it has a car in it.
I was imagining like a garage.
That's an awfully small room for all that stuff.
Like a big interrogation room.
I think Chris set a good scene, so we're gonna run with that one.
All right. So, all right, Wes, what do you think? Do you think Frodo, with his invisibility and stabby McStabbertons, or MacGyver, with his brilliant ingenuity?
See, here's the thing. Here's the premise that we haven't set with your scene, is we never discussed whether the two are aware that they should be fighting each other, that the other is a threat. We never discussed whether they know that they're in the same room. And you know what I mean? Like,
well, I would take those. Go ahead.
Let's assume yes to both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say because this is the death match, right? So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
only one leaves.
In that case, let's stop calling it a room. Let's say it's like a plane hangar or a garage stall or something like that. Something a little bigger.
Sure.
Or a cage.
Yep. So here's my take.
One man enter, one man leave.
Thunderdome.
So my take on it initially is Frodo is a little bitch. Like he's pretty scared, and well, you know, and I guess if this took place after the events of Lord of the Rings, like maybe he has like a little more courage because he's like, God damn it. He's like, I faced orcs and, you know, the fires of Mountain Doom and everything. Like, what am I scared of this man with, you know...
Well, before you say that, let's be fair.
Business in the front, party in the back, so...
Samwise had to carry him to the end. Frodo was not a finisher.
Oh,
yeah, no.
Here's the thing. Does Frodo have access to Samwise?
No, it's just
in
them.
This room? No,
just them.
Well, Frodo's screwed then. If he doesn't have Samwise, he's done.
Well, here's the thing though, is that he has the element of surprise because he has invisibility. So if he really wants to, he could just sneak up to behind MacGyver while he's fashioning these complicated glasses from parts of a
See, here's what I would think. Here's what I think.
Okay.
MacGyver wouldn't make glasses. He would make basically oh, you know what? How about this?
I feel like he'd make
MacGyver
traps.
has been how about this? The instant where Frodo is about to fight MacGyver is already prepared with his traps because that's how it normally happens in the show.
Okay.
Because he's already been planning for this event.
MacGyver's had setup time.
Yes, setup time.
Okay.
All right. So MacGyver has different traps, like I said. So he's got like an oil slick trap, right?
Yeah.
Where either he would see where Frodo's walking, or it would be some type of like tripwire. He activates the engine, which then like creates smoke or black powder or an explosion.
Yeah. I could see that.
But that's the MacGyver side of it. Frodo.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Frodo, I think, man, it's tough because Frodo relies on everyone else in that show, in the movies.
Uh-huh.
You know, like Frodo
can't do anything by himself.
Can't really do much by himself. I mean, yeah, he's invisible and can stab people and maybe see ring wraiths. Maybe I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is, again, this doesn't really work if it's set after the events of the Lord of the Rings, but the only thing I can think of to how he could get somebody in there is to remain invisible long enough for the ring wraiths to find him.
Yeah.
You know,
they'll always find him. You're right.
So he's essentially, he could be like summoning the ring wraiths to come and fight his battle for him. You know,
he's still a little bitch.
No, I'm pretty sure if he's waiting for the ring wraiths are going to come in and see MacGyver. Fuck that guy. We don't need him. And then just go and kill Frodo.
Well, what about this?
I think MacGyver wins.
What about Frodo? Like his ability to like talk to people, right? Because like he uses his words quite a bit.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Okay, you're gonna have to convince me of that one. What do you mean?
I feel like with his naivete, and just being such a nice guy, he would be like, whoa, being a hobbit. It's like, hey, whoa, have you had second breakfast yet? Let's sit down, talk this out. Let me tell you the story.
And then he poisons his bacon.
I was just thinking the same.
Oh man! I mean, I was gonna make it all nicey nice, but I guess that's pretty underhanded. Maybe the ring. The ring is evil. Maybe this is like twisted Frodo, right? Like, what if this is like the end of the Lord of the Rings, and instead of him getting his finger bit off,
the anti-Frodo.
Yeah, like instead of Gollum being there and like, no, it's my ring. This ring. That's when he gets teleported. So he's evil. All right.
It's Frodo with a goatee.
Yeah. with a fro-tee.
Yeah. Oh God.
But yeah, so that means that we can use even more underhanded tactics.
My vote is still MacGyver.
Okay, how would MacGyver do it? Because I think we've kind of explored the limits of what Frodo could do. So,
well, like I said, MacGyver, he would have already had planning time.
I think I'm gonna agree with Chris on this. And the oil slick sounds really good. I think oil slick is a good one, but really, like, he could overpower Frodo. I mean, he's a human, so he's he's towering over him.
Yeah, he's like 3 times the size of Frodo.
All he'd really have to do is just beat him to death,
but MacGyver doesn't kill.
Ooh.
So he beats him into submission?
Well, personally, he doesn't kill, but like he makes machines that will
kill for him.
I guess. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've watched MacGyver.
Yeah, Sam.
He's like, I may not kill you with my hands, but I will use my hands.
But I'll make a bomb.
I'll make a gun for someone else to use to shoot you.
Yeah.
Drew would win.
I'd still go with MacGyver.
Yeah.
I don't see Frodo pulling it off.
I think that's 3 votes for
Frodo pulls Sting. I mean, MacGyver's just gonna, snatch it off his head.
Yeah, that's true.
A dagger.
I mean, he does know different martial arts.
Even if he does stab him, it's just a dagger. I mean, it's gonna hurt, but he's been through worse.
Well, it's a short sword. It would.
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than a dagger. It's about the size of a keyboard, dude.
Yeah, it's only what?
Frodo it is.
Yeah, that's a foot of blade going into your abdomen.
Yeah,
he's been through worse.
I think that's 3 votes for MacGyver.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like there's no way I can save Frodo in this one. I think it's MacGyver.
You know what, though? Yeah. You did your best, and I think it was a valiant effort. So
Thank you.
Not even Samwise can save him from this.
So to conclude our very first matchup in Versus, I guess.
Yeah, you got it right there.
Between Frodo Baggins and MacGyver wins hands down just by not being Frodo.
By not being Frodo.
Yeah, so, yeah. All right, guys, and with that, we're going to go ahead and go to our second commercial break. And then when we get back, we are going to start the main discussion topic of this evening, and we're going to talk about all the comic book adaptations that are surrounding us, and it seems there are more and more coming out each day. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the just okay. Do you like role-playing games? How about podcasts? How about a podcast about a role-playing game? Check out our friends at Tomorrow's End, a podcast that follows a role-playing group as they navigate through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. All right, enough fucking words. Here's the trailer.
How did humanity get here? I just can't remember. The rest of the world didn't know why the end had come. They'd heard on the radio about an attack on the states by either Russia or China over dwindling resources. What we knew was that the world was going to end. and a crazy man named Morrow had a plan to save the world. Many teams were frozen in vaults deep underground, safely tucked away from all the bombs and nukes flying, and the asteroid that would finally end everything. They were supposed to wake up 25 years later and help pick up the pieces, but something went wrong, and everyone woke up a lot later, if they woke up at all. Cultists, criminals, madmen, they've been living and thriving through the radiation and destruction the entire time. Some good people also survived. They held on to hope by spreading stories. Stories about tomorrow's end.
And we're back again, and we're going to talk about comic books, or comic book adaptations, rather, and the multitude that we have to pick from, the good, the bad, and the just okay. Again, we're going to go ahead and just start this off. Chris, do you want to lead us off with your first choice for a good movie or a good adaptation? Yep.
Yeah, sure. So like Wes said, there's a ridiculous amount of comic book movies nowadays. Back in the 80s and 90s, there were maybe a handful a year, maybe, and that was between TV and movies. But I think one of my favorite comic book adaptations is probably The Watchmen.
Oh, that's a good one.
And I know a lot of people, some people are very hit or miss on it, but it's probably, to me, the most faithful comic book adaptation.
That wasn't on my list, but I'm glad you said it.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
See, I actually, I'm not a huge comic book reader, so I had just the movie to judge, and I think just going into the movie somewhat blind, I don't know, I did not get into it.
Oh, I loved it.
It would not be on my good list.
Okay.
Just okay.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was there.
Yeah.
It exists.
They changed up quite a bit towards the end of the movie from the comic book. And if you haven't read the comic book, Wes?
No. I mean, maybe a page or here just to see how similar it was.
I read it and it's fantastic, but it lines up with the movie perfectly until the end.
Yeah, and I'll preface this with before you go any further, Nick. They changed it because of the time period that the movie came out.
Right.
It's just they modernized the idea. So go ahead.
Yeah, and in the comic book, the end of the spoiler alert. The comic book, they end it with a giant squid monster from a different dimension comes through and kills everybody. Versus the end of the movie is Dr. Manhattan, it's not him, but he accidentally makes that bomb that blows up most of New York. So there's the two differences, but for the most part, it's spot on, word for word, and the characters just are so well done.
Honestly, dude, the only thing the thing that I remember most about that movie is Blue Dick.
It's kind of hard not to. Yeah.
I mean,
I just hope that
it was gratuitous really penis every scene.
I hope they really helped that actor out. If he's not endowed that way, I mean, I'd be pushing to the effects people hey guys, you gotta help me out.
Let's increase the budget by 30% here, okay?
And that 30% is
girth me out.
Yeah. But
make me look cool.
I actually watched the movie first because I also hadn't read the comic. I watched the movie first and was I can dig this. I can get into this.
Man, it's so good.
And reading the comic, which there's also a whole other comic within a comic.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
For that movie or for that series, and that was also taken out of the movie.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just really felt to me, that's one of my favorite comic book adaptations, just because of how faithful it was to the source material.
It's really, really faithful.
So, Nick, what's your choice for your first movie?
Can I? This may seem like a cop out, but I'm gonna list 2 movies as one, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
I put down Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I put those on mine too.
Now,
I don't.
Real quick, I have to ask. Is this like your top favorite, or just one of your like top 5?
One of my top 5 favorites.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's 1 and 2 lumped together as one.
I haven't finished 2 yet. I started watching it, but I haven't finished it
so
yet.
Good. I don't know a lot about the comics because I didn't learn about it until just a few years ago. But man, is it good! I think from a comedic aspect, I mean, they came at that movie as more of a comedy than, you know, a real. I don't know. There's just something about it that was better than most Marvel movies for me.
Well, I can understand that because I was going to say at the time, all the Avengers movies and even the DC movies, they were very kind of more in the realm of realism and kind of realistic emotions. I don't know. That's probably the wrong way to say that. Just they were more serious.
And that's what I like about Guardians of the Galaxy so much, is that they didn't take themselves so seriously. And so it's very silly, very goofy. And that's what, I don't know, it's just so funny and relatable. Like, Chris Pratt's character is just so relatable. That's one of my favorites. One thing about those that they changed up in the movies is that, what's his name? Blue with the mohawk. Yondu.
Yeah.
He actually, what I do know about the comics is that he actually was part of the Guardians of the Galaxy team.
Huh.
Yeah, from kind of early on.
Yeah, and he actually has like a bow and arrow.
Yeah, you know, I watched the first one, and I had, like I said, I love comics, and I did read some growing up, but it was mostly just in the same vein of like Spider-Man. That was my favorite. But so a lot of as just a general note, a lot of the movies and TV shows that have been coming out that people have been getting excited for are stuff that I've never heard of. Like Guardians of the Galaxy is one, and then you know, on Netflix there's a few of them that came out. Not Daredevil. I knew Daredevil, but like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and what's the Iron Fist? Is that the new one? Yep.
Iron Fist.
Never heard of it. Never heard it. But I mean, we'll go ahead and get to those. Drew, did you have your one of your top 5?
I have, near the top of my list would be Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's on my list too.
That's the second one, right? The sequel.
It is the second one. Yeah, like I loved everything about that movie.
Yep, I did see that one. The Captain America series, the live action one. Was there 3 now, or 2 of them, and then the Avengers?
There's 3. There's 3. Civil War,
that's right.
Civil War is a Captain America movie, but it's more of a all-around Avengers movie because it has, everybody except for like Hulk and Thor, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the second one, the one that you're talking about, is it's kind of like a spy thriller, isn't it? That one.
Yeah, it's more espionage.
Yeah,
it's still a comic movie, but it's not a classic good guy beats up bad guy wins the day. It's more of a good guy has shit happen and has to go underground, but still ends up winning the day.
It changed up kind of the theme of things because the first Captain America movie was very like pulp, you know, pulpy and very, you know, retro in feel. And then you had the Avengers movies throughout that, and those were very grandiose, big movies. You know, Winter Soldier brought it back, you know, brought it kind of into a smaller scale, still big. I mean, it still had a very like comic book villain, comic book.
It still had a comic book feel, but it felt like more than a comic book movie.
Yeah, more like a graphic novel.
Yeah, you know, and again, like a lot of those stories are stories that I've never heard. So being able to see movies on it really kind of expanded a lot of my appreciation for those characters that I didn't really have before. I was never really a Captain America fan growing up or anything like that. Didn't dislike him. It was just never one that I latched onto.
No, it was the same for me. I mean, I read a few comics growing up, and it wasn't until I was in my adult years where I really started kind of grabbing onto things. And, with Iron Man and when that first came out, that kind of revitalized a lot of things for me anyway. What about you, Wes?
Yeah, as far as me, I really have to go as far as one of my top fives. I mentioned Spider-Man was my favorite. And there's been a lot of Spider-Man movies, which is
yes, there has.
Great, but it's a little disappointing that they didn't just pick one to continue, And I know they had, what was it? They were all produced under Marvel, right? Or was one of them Sony?
The original Spider-Man movies were Sony, as well as
Tobey Maguire.
Yep, Tobey Maguire, as well as
Andrew Garfield ones.
Yes, those were technically all Sony.
And then Homecoming was Marvel.
Yeah, Homecoming was Marvel. I believe at this point, Marvel now owns Spider-Man again.
Okay. Well,
I believe so.
As far as my top one, I did enjoy, and I think it was probably, it's a toss up right now, but I'm going to go ahead and swing it this way anyway. But the first Spider-Man was the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. That was his series.
Yeah, with the lizard.
Yep. Yeah. That first one was awesome to me. I think.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was really good.
Yep. I think Andrew Garfield was a perfect fit for both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I mean, I don't know. Like, when you guys think of Spider-Man, what do you think of him as the nerdy little high schooler, or the somewhat grown-up teenager, edgier, like MTV version?
Well, the Spider-Man I grew up on was actually the cartoon.
Oh yeah, and he was he was like a full-grown adult male in that one.
But he was still in college, like
yeah.
And so I kind of have that idea in my head. But from all the different comics, some of them, Peter Parker is like a sophomore in high school.
Yeah.
I think that's what the newest one kind of, with Tom Holland, I feel like that feel fits for that.
Did you guys see that one yet?
I have
not either.
Oh man. See, that's the thing. Like, a lot of my images of Spider-Man are like Tobey Maguire. Those movies were like kind of like the cartoon, like the older college years.
Yeah.
Everything like that. The Andrew Garfield, I don't remember how old he was supposed to be in those movies, but he was kind of like the senior year of high school, just about to, like applying for colleges.
Yeah.
Like that's the image of Peter Parker and Spider-Man that most sticks with me. So that's why those movies are, they kind of resonate with me a little bit more. But the Spider-Man Homecoming was excellent. And it was nice for me as a Spider-Man fan to be able to see a portrayal of him as something that you've never seen before on the big screen or little screen. So it's definitely worth checking out. But yeah, that would, The Amazing Spider-Man, the first one with Andrew Garfield. The second one is probably gonna go on my just okay, if not bad list, but the first one was definitely one of my top 5 there. So
the first original Spider-Man?
No, the
Andrew Garfield one.
Oh, the Andrew Garfield one.
Amazing.
I never saw the second one. I got so hyped from I was like, oh yeah, the Sinister Six are gonna be in this, and they're gonna have Electro, and I'm like, you know what, I can handle that. He looks weird. And then I'm like, oh, I'll get to it. Maybe when it comes out on DVD. And
well, that was kind of the problem with it, is that they threw in way too many villains. I mean, they had what was his name, Rhino, or the Rhino in it.
Yeah,
Paul Giamatti.
He was at the end. Yeah,
I got so mad at that because they built that up for a third movie.
I know.
And never made one. I was so pumped for that because it looked so awesome, and then they did nothing with it.
Well, the thing is, you remember the commercial for it, the advertisement for it, how they like showed him like being chased by the huge rhino suit.
Yeah.
That's like the very ending scene of that movie, and that's it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And you don't see him. They don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like,
it was very
They show the start of a fight, and then it's just like credits.
It's like, wait, what?
It's like lame. It's like this movie's meant to be seen like you're anticipating the next one. I mean, and then the next one never came, which I was disappointed about. But I guess all good things must come to an end.
But that's what's kind of exciting for the Spider-Man: Homecoming. I got to see that, but the Vulture is such a cool villain in the comics.
Yeah, dude,
it's Michael Keaton. It's
Michael Keaton, who is one of my favorite.
He's awesome in it too, and Tom Holland is incredible as both Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like it's very reminiscent of how I remember high school, honestly. So
he was a great Spider-Man in Civil War. So I mean, I have nothing but high expectations of him for Homecoming.
Oh yeah.
And I'll jump to my next one. Speaking segue with Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
The original Batman movies.
Yep, the Tim Burton ones. Yep.
Batman, and then Batman Returns. Yeah, Batman Returns.
Yeah, so good.
Yep.
Those were such great Batman movies.
That's how I always envision Batman. Like, that's how Batman should be, because it was so dark.
He also had Michael Keaton had a good balance between being Bruce Wayne and being Batman.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where later on, like a good example is Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was a good Batman, but a terrible Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And then George Clooney, great Bruce Wayne, terrible Batman with his bat nipples and his back credit card.
Yeah. Oh,
but
man.
I can understand the feel because they were trying to go with more of a pulpy comic book feel to it.
It was too cartoony.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then Christian Bale, I'd say he was a better Batman than he was Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I could agree with that. But God damn it, what was the first one? It was Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Yeah,
that was such a cool reboot. Way to reboot it.
They did a great job with that.
Wasn't he actually trained by Ra's al Ghul in the comics and everything?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Some of them. Yeah, some of his training came from there. Yeah, from him.
Well, they went the whole ninja route with that.
With the League of Assassins.
And I don't know, that whole series had a really good one. In fact, the Dark Knight is one of my top 5 too.
So that one's on my list. So.
For obvious reasons, so I'll go ahead and throw that in there. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like the Dark Knight. I never saw the third one with Bane.
The third one's very mediocre.
I feel like they ran out of steam. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like they were just trying to finish telling a story. The first two were they built the story up really well, and the third one they kind of went, oh man, we got to finish this. How are we going to do this to where we can end our run?
Yeah,
do it against the wall and whatever stuck.
Yeah, It's like a TV series that's gone on for 7 to. It seems like the magic number seems to be 5 or 6 to stop your show. Once they get to 7.
What sucks is that I really like Tom Hardy as an actor. I really didn't like his Bane at all.
No,
right?
Oh God.
I don't know. I just saw all the memes while it was happening, and I was just like, "Is that really what he sounds like? Is that what he's really doing?"
No, I've read the comics and I've watched the cartoons, and that was not Bane.
No.
So,
Nick, what's your next movie?
So my next one was Hellboy 2: The Golden Army.
Okay.
Ooh. Hellboy movies.
I like the Hellboy franchise. I think it's great. I love the artwork and the comic books. I like the characters are fantastic. And what's his name? I can't think of the actor's name, but he played Hopper from Stranger Things. He will be playing the next Hellboy.
Oh, you're
really?
talking about...
Yeah.
His name.
Oh, Stranger Things. Sorry, I was looking 2 things around.
Look up the images of him as the next Hellboy. and apparently he looks just like Ron Perlman, and he looks fantastic in it. But so the second one I thought was much better. I thought the storyline was better. I thought the characters were better. I just got attached.
I was going to ask you why you chose the second one over the first one. I've seen the first one, but not the second one.
I think the story was better. The characters were better. I became really attached to, especially the main villain, Prince Nuada. I just really liked the main villains a lot. They weren't bad people. They were just, I don't know. They were really good though.
Yeah. I would definitely suggest, if you haven't, Nick, or anyone else listening or here, try to find the 2 animated movies, Hellboy movies.
Yeah.
Blood and Iron is one, and I forget what the other one's called.
And Ron Perlman does the voices for that, right?
All of them, the characters that were in the movies.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Voice their representative characters in the animated shorts.
We were talking about it. Doug Jones actually plays quite a few characters in the second one. He plays Abe Sapien, and then he also plays like the angel at the end.
Yeah. So Doug Jones played Abe Sapien in both the first and second movie, but was voiced by I'm gonna forget his name, but he's a British actor. He was Kelsey Grammer's brother in.
Okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know.
I hate doing that.
Yeah, Frasier.
He voiced him
Frasier.
in the first movie, but the second movie, that was all Doug Jones.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. But yeah, the second movie, that's my second.
Yeah, thank you, David Pierce.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What a great movie. Hellboy, Golden Army.
Drew, what about your next one?
My next one's actually not a movie. I picked a TV series.
Good. I was hoping we'd move into that.
I picked Constantine.
Okay.
TV show.
I did not get a chance to watch that, but I did watch the Keanu Reeves movie, Constantine.
That's what I saw.
God do it for me.
I have some things to say about that.
See, I like the TV show. If you followed the New 52 at all with DC Comics, it was pretty spot on with the comics. Matt Ryan looked exactly like Constantine was supposed to look. He acted like he was supposed to act. It did it for me. It hit all the right notes, and I loved it. And I was crushed when they canceled it after one season.
That's too bad.
I was gonna say I thought they had canceled that, but
they did. It made it one season, and they canceled it. And
I really
you never know
liked
what
what I
happens
saw.
with the finale. So,
oh
it's
man,
quite a bummer.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Though, just to kind of segue to another animated movie, they did do a Justice League Dark movie that has Constantine and all the magical occult heroes.
Yep, it's got the Terrigan, the Demon, and Swamp Thing. And Zartana, Deadman, I think's in there.
Yeah, he is.
That's a pretty good movie too. I did enjoy that.
Oh, you have watched it? Okay.
I have. I own it actually.
Oh, I'll have to borrow that from you because I've been meaning to watch it.
It's good. I like it. I'll have to give it to you next time.
Right. So real quick, this just popped into my head. Not the cut in, but so to go back to Batman real quick, there's 2 things that I would love to see. One thing I'd love to see and one thing that's coming out. So the one thing I'd love to see is I would love to see either a movie or a TV show with Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah.
So they did the cartoon. I don't know, people who might not know, Batman Beyond takes place like 50 years in the future, and Batman's retired.
That was Nightwing.
He's just gotten too old. No, not even Nightwing. It's farther than that.
It's Terry
McGinnis.
Yeah,
Terry McGinnis.
Terry McGinnis.
So Batman's retired, and Gotham is basically being taken over by different villains again. So this kid happens to stumble across Wayne Manor. I can tark good. So Wayne Manor, for whatever reason, I can't remember exactly, but he discovers the Batcave, and a whole bunch of things happen. He basically becomes the new Batman, and
Okay.
it's very like almost cyberpunk-esque.
Yeah, his suit is awesome.
A lot of villains come back in like newer forms.
So is Bruce Wayne or
Bruce Wayne is still
Bruce
alive.
Brain,
Yeah, but
according to
Bruce-
you?
he's-
Wayne.
He's still alive?
He's really old in it though.
Okay.
Yeah. So they did an animated series, which is very good. But I think it would do very well on something like Netflix or Hulu or
Yeah.
something
I'd like to
that.
see a live action version of that. That'd be great.
But the other thing that popped up, and I just saw a trailer for it, is Gotham by Gaslight. So
Oh, yeah.
it's an Elseworld story where it's Batman in a steampunk universe,
And
he's trying to
Jack
fight.
the Ripper.
Yeah, he's trying to stop Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, it looks so good.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, and it's an animated movie. There's quite a few different animated Batman movies that are hit or miss, from what I understand.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
To continue with what Chris is going with, have you guys seen the it's Jeffrey Dean Morgan side by side in like a bat suit, and it's supposed to be like a teaser for Flashpoint Batman.
Oh, where it's actually his
Yeah.
alternate universe, his dad becomes Batman.
So I don't know if you've seen or read that, Wes, but it's
No.
Flashpoint Paradox.
I
Where,
do know that there's lots of the alternate universe, isn't it, where
Yes.
Bruce Wayne actually is the
Dies.
one who gets shot instead of his parents, and because of that,
So, yeah.
and didn't his his
dad
mom
becomes-
like become Joker or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
she goes
okay.
insane.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
It's
that
really good.
that sounds like better than the original Batman plot. Like,
Right?
Yeah,
you know?
it's really solid.
Yeah, Flashpoint's a Flash storyline.
Yep.
Okay.
But it's definitely something to look into.
Yeah, it's really good.
Flashpoint also has an animated movie, right?
Yes,
it does. Yep, they just came out with
really
It's on
good.
Netflix, so I mean,
Well, actually, it's been around for a couple years, but
it's been out for a while. I thought.
Has it a
Yeah.
couple years now? I thought it
Yeah.
came out this last year.
no.
Oh.
It's really good though.
Yeah, no, I definitely have been meaning to check it out. There's a lot of shows, obviously, that I need to check out.
Yeah.
But
But I just wanted to bring that to light.
yeah. All right, Wes, I think it's your turn for your next one.
Yeah, and then I want to after that I want to start getting into the bad or the
Okay.
or the just okay. We got about 15 minutes or so.
20 minutes.
Yep,
Yeah.
something like that. So
Sure.
so my next one, just to get it out of the way, it's one of the one of the newest ones last year was fucking Deadpool. That
Oh, God.
you know,
I made
Yes.
my list.
I was late getting on the whole Deadpool train as far as
Oh, he's so great.
yeah, as far as like getting to know what he was about. And my first experience with Deadpool was actually a movie that you had me watch, Chris. It was an animated movie with him and Wolverine and
Oh, it's
Somebody was
Hulk.
Wolverine first.
It's Hulk versus. So
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
animated
Versus the
movie.
Hulk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that was in the same vein as Planet Hulk too. Like both of those
Yep.
are incredible movies. I
they're very
loved
good.
them.
Dude, Planet Hulk is an amazing story arc in the comics, and if you want to borrow it, I will let you because
Okay.
he's the best.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very good.
Didn't
Hulk is
isn't that what the new Thor movie is? Planet Hulk? Loosely? Okay.
From what I understand, yeah.
Well,
they
you know,
follow some stuff.
As soon as I saw Hulk in the armor and then them facing off in the arena, I was like, I've seen this before. So,
Yeah.
but Deadpool, like everything about it, like I think I got into Deadpool as soon as, well, yep, it was, I believe, I don't know which came first. It was either the movie you showed me, Chris, or it was the X-Men Wolverine Origins movie with
yeah,
Ryan
it's
Reynolds
probably
in it.
the Origins movie because I think that came
was
out
before?
first.
Okay.
Yeah, and let's
be honest though, that is not Deadpool.
No. That's you know, that whole section is you know, you can just stop the movie like 20 minutes before it ends and be okay with it. But
that movie lost all of its budget by the middle of the movie, and it just was crap after that.
You can tell. Yep, that's definitely one of the worst. So we'll cover both at the same time. But Deadpool was the perfect mix of staying true to the character, and Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Like, you know, like Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Hands down, like anything he's ever done is just Deadpool on screen, not him. And but they did an awesome job, like staying true to how crazy the character is. They didn't overdo the fourth wall breaking like I thought they would do, which was great. I think it translates. Yeah. I think it translates better in comic book form than it does on a screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there's a just to piggyback on that. There are several comics that, and this is what I'm kind of excited for the second Deadpool movie when they add Cable.
Mm-hmm. Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
Oh my God.
There's a whole series of comics that are just Deadpool and Cable.
Yep.
And they're so good.
So good. Yeah.
I've got two, like the first two volumes of like the collection sets. But it's so funny because Deadpool is Deadpool and Cable is this like straight-laced, serious about everything
I love
person.
Cable.
And it's just such a great, like the humor that Deadpool has isn't above Cable. Like he understands it. He just doesn't have time for it because he's always trying to save the world from the past and the future.
Yep. And since we're probably not going to have time to get into it, but we did mention that we're going to talk about, you know, video games as well. The Deadpool video game
was pretty fun.
It was pretty great. I mean, it definitely could have used maybe I don't know. Maybe it was exactly what it was supposed to be. But it was hilarious. Like, even like the cutscenes and everything. Like, I was laughing my ass off. And it's like, there's not a whole lot of video games that bring out a lot of emotions in people like that. So it was that was good. That's just a quick side note. But the movie was great. It was violent. It was vulgar. And the most impressive thing about that movie, I think, was the lack of budget that they had to work with. And
yeah, they only had like a couple $1 million total.
Well, yeah, it was still so good.
You know, and one of the brilliant decisions that they made was, in order to forego a lot of the special effects that they needed to have one of the gunfights at the end, like they just had Deadpool like forget his ammo pouch and forget his bag of guns in the taxi. Really you know what I mean? Like that's how they explained it away. And then I loved the little quip when he gets to the
mansion.
The mansion, and he opens up. He's like, why is there only two of you? He's like, probably because the studio could only afford that. You know what I mean? Like it was like, you know, it was just that's what happens when you let someone like Ryan Reynolds and was it Tim Miller was the director?
I believe so, yeah.
When you let people like that who love the character and love the comic and everything about it, when you let them take off, you know, running, you know, I think
they actually have a sense of humor.
Yeah. And you know, they're not just trying to pump out yet another blockbuster. Like they legitimately made like what I would consider probably a step up from a graduate student film. You know what I mean? Like they did Deadpool like that, and it was fucking fantastic. So
for sure.
So we're gonna start winding down here. I want to talk about the bad. So Chris, we'll go back to you. What's on your bad list, or just okay? We'll throw that in the same category.
See, and here's the problem. Like, I can't really think of a lot of.
Like, you don't like to be mean. You like to give everything a chance. I know you.
Yeah, like I'm the one that's like, as long as I had a good time, I'm okay. I guess not really. You can kind of classify it as a comic book movie, but like the first G.I. Joe movie, the live action one they did.
I actually enjoyed that one.
Yeah, well, that's because you and I went to go see that, and the lowest expectations possible.
That's right, we did.
Pleasantly surprised.
That's right, we did. I remember saying that. I remember because all we had seen was the commercials for it, and the trailers, and I don't think we read any reviews. We just went into it blind. We're like, you know what? It's G.I. Joe. We're going to go fucking see it. And we're like, you know what? That was not terrible, but
it was definitely not a great movie, but it was entertaining.
I've never seen it.
So
you know,
that's the
first one.
Just okay. That's our second. That's just okay, right?
Yeah, that's a just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's something that if you saw on TV, like, yeah, I'd sit down and watch a little bit of this.
Yeah. Definitely. Nick, what about you? What's on your bad list or just okay?
Bad or just okay? Which would you prefer?
Well, we had a just okay with that one. Yep, let's just do that. Yeah. We'll go through the just okays real quick.
Just okay. I'm gonna have to say the first Punisher movie.
The first one?
Yeah.
Which one was that? Dolph Lundgren?
No. What? No,
not that first. That's way too far back.
Oh, that's way. You mean with Thomas Jane? What?
Really?
Yeah. I
like that one.
I think it's good. I just don't think it's great.
Well, you know what? I can see that.
Blow me out of the water.
Okay, hold on. Are you comparing that to the what's his name? Ray it was the second one that they made with the different.
Oh, that was a way more comic booky.
Yeah, what was his name? Ray Charles? Is that was his name? No.
Ray Charles.
Ray Charles. No. What was his name? He was in
a great movie.
He was sorry, he was in Rome and
Yeah.
What
I know
was
who you're
his
talking
name?
about.
Ray
that
somebody.
Movie was terrible.
You didn't like that one either? Okay, so you're comparing it to the new
like
Punisher
the new
movie.
Hotness.
The Netflix movie or the Netflix show. Yeah. No, it'd be hard to beat.
Well, I guess in comparison to that, it is but you got to think of it like in the time frame.
Well, come on, you got John Travolta as like the villain, and
I don't disagree that I don't think it was bad.
It's just so for you.
Yeah. You're right. You put it in the just okay. I could agree with that.
It's not terrible. Like I'll still watch it, but it's not like it doesn't blow me out of the water. But I guess I'm just really, really excited about the John Bernthal.
Yeah,
coming out because I think he looks awesome as a Punisher. So
yeah, it does. And him and when he was in that second season of Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that was a nice taste of what to expect.
Section of shows I also need to watch.
Yeah. So that's my just okay.
Okay.
Drew, what about you? Do you have a just okay, or do you want to go straight to bad?
I really don't have a just okay.
Okay, so what's your bad list then?
Okay, the very top on my bad list is the first Hulk movie with Eric Bana.
It's so bad.
Yep. Okay.
That thing was an art house pile of garbage.
That was 2 hours of talking and 15 minutes of action.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. It was angry, and it was just.
I remember all the leaping from mountain to mountain, like,
and that was the coolest part.
That was the coolest part.
And then when he fights his dad. Good spoiler alert! I don't think anyone's gonna watch it.
I don't spoil it, man. No one's gonna watch this movie.
Yeah, right.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
he was like an electro cloud or something, and
to me, it was a miracle that comic movie adaptations survived that.
Yeah, like they didn't just get canned after that.
They didn't just go. Oh crap! These are all gonna be.
That's on my list too. It's so bad.
I love Eric Bana. He is a pretty good actor.
Yeah.
But that movie.
It's not in that.
It wasn't. It wasn't his fault. It was just that movie was just. You could have put anybody in it, and it would have been the biggest seamless pile of shit ever.
Who's your favorite Bruce Banner? Is it Edward Norton or what's his name? The Mark Ruffalo. Yep. Which one?
None of the above.
It's kind of a coin flip.
None. Nick, are you a Lou Ferrigno fan?
Damn right I am.
I'm sorry, Lou. I forgot you.
Lou Ferrigno was not Bruce Banner. Lou Ferrigno was just the Hulk.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Bruce Banner was some other dude, and I have no idea who he is to give him credit.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. All right.
For me, for Bruce Banner, I really like Edward Norton. Like, he just had the nerdy facial features. He had the nerdy, outlook on life. I like Mark Ruffalo, but he's almost too, I'm the beefcake, but I'm also a nerd.
Yeah. Edward Norton looked like Bruce Banner. He was skinny. He wasn't he wasn't out of shape, but he wasn't jacked. He didn't look like a hero.
I hate to be that guy, but none of them have really hit the mark for me yet.
No.
I don't think anybody has really portrayed a good Hulk / Bruce Banner yet.
Okay.
So, just okay. Another recent one was Ant-Man. I know you guys are probably going to disagree with me, but it was a just okay one for me. It was a character that I had no interest in, and I was pleasantly surprised by the movie because of its humor and everything.
It seemed like an Iron Man light.
Yeah, and the fact that they included him in the Avengers and in Civil War, or no, not the Avengers, he was in Civil War. When they moved him into that, I was like, man, it feels like they're kind of reaching into the bottom of the barrel as far as
to be fair, Ant-Man is one of the original Avengers.
That's true.
I was gonna say that.
Go ahead.
It wasn't that specific character, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. There have been different Ant-Man. It was actually
Pym.
Michael Douglas's.
So it's Michael Douglas.
Yeah, Hank Pym.
Okay.
He's actually got many different names in the comic books, but
yeah, there's been a few different ones. I liked Ant-Man, but again, I have this thing of if I had fun at the movie, if I had an enjoyable experience, I liked the movie, regardless if it wasn't a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
So I like Ant-Man. I could definitely see a lot of the why people wouldn't like it, because they're a dude who can control ants and be tiny.
I actually don't disagree with Wes on this one.
Yeah. No, I could see it being kind of a so-so movie for some people, but I like I said, I liked it, but
I just wasn't interested.
Yeah, it came and went for me. I don't know. It was.
Though I will say the scene in Civil War when he's this is either gonna work or it's gonna rip me in pieces, and then he becomes the big version of himself.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that was fucking epic, and I'm yeah, I want to be that guy. I want to be Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I loved his quip after he shrunk back down. Do you guys have any orange slices?
Yeah.
The diabetic in me was I identify with that.
I understand. I blew through all my sugar for the day.
Okay, guys. Let's do one more, then we'll wrap it up.
So my kind of so-so movie, because again, I don't necessarily hate this, but one that I just cannot really watch, but it can I don't know. Maybe I do hate it and can't really watch it.
Let's just say you hate it.
All right, Nick, you're really gonna not like this. The Crow.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Wait, which one?
The first one,
the see one that with,
really?
Yeah, I can appreciate it. I just don't.
I love the comic books, and I love the first one. And Jason Momoa is going to be playing the next one.
Yeah, and maybe I'll give it a watch, but he better slim down if that's going to happen. I don't know.
Yeah, he seems way too jacked to be the Crow.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Maybe it's because I haven't really read any of the Crow comics, but it's it's just too dark for me. And
you really have to be in the right mindset for it. And there's multiple reincarnations of the Crow, so I'll send you some links, but
yeah, no, I'll definitely check it out. I just
I said, mindset.
If it was on TV, I would just change the channel.
The first one I love. Everyone after that is just a steaming pile of garbage.
And see, that's the thing. I've never seen any. Maybe I've seen bits and pieces of the second one on Sci-Fi channel. I don't know.
I love Brandon Lee, and that was his legacy. And yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time, so I really don't know what to say about it.
I'm not going to give you too much shit because I can understand what.
All right, what about you, Nick? What's a bad one for you?
I think you're all going to agree with me, I hope.
Yeah.
And this movie I just watched not too long ago, and it's a total fucking dumpster fire, is Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
I never watched it.
You know,
I love love the comics, but
don't fucking bother. Don't even waste your
I
time.
heard that they did some terrible things.
God, it's
I wanted to like that so bad. I tried to like it, and I
it's
just
trash.
couldn't.
You know, Nick, that would be on my bad list too. And
What a steaming pile of dog shit.
And you know, for how much they teased Jared Leto's Joker, it was horrible.
Garbage.
It was horrible.
Man. I really like Jared Leto too, and his Joker was just a fucking catastrophe.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, like the director's cut of the movie, like adds a bunch more scenes with the Joker and a few other things, and like has made it bearable.
It's just so bad.
Well, it's like the whole idea of the Suicide Squad is such a cool premise, even if you don't know much about the background behind it.
The premise is
you
cool.
don't know the characters. I mean, it's just
The execution was just a total flop.
Yeah.
So that's mine.
You know what? I finally remembered the one that is the worst for me. The Dragon Ball movie. You guys,
man.
What a terrible.
Were you guys? Yeah. Were you? Yeah. See, it was so bad that none of us could remember it.
Yeah. No, I actually just watched a Nostalgia Critic review that movie.
It's so bad.
And
It's so bad.
It is horrible.
It's so terrible.
Sorry, Drew. I didn't mean to jump ahead of you. I just wanted I was looking through some stuff trying to jog my memory, and that's the one that I had been thinking about. So I had to get it out before I forgot again. But
that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Like I don't even remember anything about it. Like I remember it's like modern day. He's like in high school. He's like the typical kid getting picked on. Then all of a sudden,
it's modern day, but the future, and he's getting picked on. Yet he's the coolest dude. Oh, and by the way, the Kamehameha is basically airbending.
It was an MTV movie, is what it was.
Yeah.
Still terrible.
Yeah, I just wiped that from memory. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we won't waste another breath on that one. So, so Drew, to go ahead and end the night with your. Wait, did you already do your last bad one?
I have not done the last bad one.
Okay. Yep. Go ahead, man.
Like, we already discussed it, but I cannot help but bring it up as my second worst comic book movie, and that is Batman and Robin.
The George Clooney Batman.
The bat nipples, the bat ass, the bat card.
the Mr. Freeze puns.
The bat ass.
Just sit down and chill.
Sit down and chill.
Like, with Bane.
Poison Ivy.
Just such a hot pile of garbage. Like, it was such a diversion from what those first movies were to then all of a sudden it was just like, we're going to try to be the fun, campy Adam West Batman, and we are going to fail miserably.
It's like if you replaced like Batman's logo on his chest, on his armor, with like a big turd.
with nipples.
A big old poop emoji on his chest.
Exactly.
Oh, don't it...
we shouldn't even emoji it. That gives it too much credit. Just like
it's
you
just
said, a big old pile of cow shit.
Big
man.
A poop right on your chest.
That's that movie.
That's what that movie is.
Okay.
Clear minded, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this business. But thanks for sticking around. Thanks for shooting the shit.
Yeah.
As we just got done talking about shit, so might as well say that too.
Appreciate it, audience.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, tune in. Let's see here. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we're not going to be doing anything next week. But the weekend of December 2nd, expect another episode from us on that Saturday, which is December 2nd. So we'll see you then. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you for listening to the Basement Dwellers podcast. Join us next time as Chris teaches the crew the latest edition of Dungeons and Dragons, Satan's Game. Just kidding.
You remember Howard the Duck?
Oh man!
Oh no!
My eyes.
Jesus Christ, what an awful fucking movie.